Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live trading today. Today is the 27th of August, 2026. I hope you guys are having a lovely Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday, mid of the week. We're now left with one trading day to it all. So, before we begin, just note that we still do have the promos running. Hello, Gaston. How are you doing? So, yes, we do still have the promos running where you get 40% off using the promo code first OFP, and then you can also get 30% off using the promo code OFP30. This offer ends on the 30th of August, which is just a few days from now. So make sure you grab yourself an account before then. And yeah, our calendar is not loading. Anyways, we'll scroll all the way to the bottom. So, quick disclaimer before we begin, this is not financial advice and is only intended for educational purposes only. The trades I take here today are purely illustrative and should not be considered trading signals or recommendations. I'm simply sharing my thought process and approach to give you guys some insight, especially if you're a struggling trader or looking for a different perspective with your trading. So just keep that in mind as we go through our trades. Once again, these are not signals, these are just educational examples of how I approach the market. So getting right into it. Oh, actually, this is for today. It clicked on both today and this week. I don't know what's going on. So we had the Bank of Korea monetary policy, though we don't even trade the Korean won. Yeah, then we had a few building capital expenditure stuff from the Aussie. Then we had the German consumer climate and employment level from the Swiss C, M3 money supply from the Euro. What else did we have? We also had some other Euro stuff, also monetary policy meeting, and we also have Jackson Hole, who's probably still speaking. That's why we had probably that dip in gold just like a few minutes ago. Yeah, we had a dip in gold, then it reversed back up, but I'm sure the dip continue. Then we have unemployment rate, which came out at 5.3% from Brazil, but not of interest to us since we don't trade the Brazilian real. And then we have initial jobless claims that is coming up in the next 11 minutes, which is red flag news. So this will definitely cause a roll in the market. So if you haven't, go and cast your vote. I will be ending the poll really soon, like in 5 minutes. So make sure you cast your vote before these results come to an end. And once again, guys, for the ones who have voted, just because I've entered the poll and then it gives you the results, that is not the actual final result. That was just the result of all the people who voted the most. It's just a poll, not the prediction. It's just a poll. And then the ones who voted on the poll correctly are the ones who get a point. So, for example, if you voted better than expected and everyone in the group voted worse than expected, and that's what the end of the poll came out as, that does not make them the winner. What makes them the winner is the fact that the result which came on investing.com came out better than expected. That is how you get a point. So I hope that is clear. Yeah. Yes, Gaston, we are fighting with the market today. Yeah, a little bit. I'm not too sure. Let's look at how my trading is going today. Yeah. So yeah, I'm currently in a loss of $62, sadly. Yeah. Let's jump right into everything here then. We started off our live at $61. We'll see how it goes when the news kicks in. So Aussie CAD is still pushing up strongly. Uh we have not yet seen an opportunity to go short on this. Then Aussie yen is also pushing up. Um we do have a stop loss at the previous resistance right here. So if it goes past 114.650, that will be our overall loss. So that's that. But if we do well, this will be our profit. Yeah, just right there. But it seems more likely that the stop loss will be hit. So I think it is best we put a stop loss here, because this stop loss is gonna be hit just probably at around 700. That would be $9 loss. Then this will be $21 loss. That's what I calculated as the loss. So we might call an L here on Aussie yen. Then let's look at Euro yen. But Euro yen seems to be doing fine, still consolidating though. Slight profit, but still consolidated. The pound CAD. Pound CAD seems to be trying here actually, like to come to the downside, but we'll see once the week ends where we'll be. Hopefully we'll be below here. And apart from that, we have nothing more to do here unless it goes further up. Then we'll probably have to sell. And then pound Swissy, we I think it's best we enter a buy now, since we're right down below this level. Yeah. So pound Swissy, we were looking for a push down to these areas where these support levels came in through. Our take profit is obviously to the top side here. And then also this one. So we'll just see how this goes as well. We're still aiming for this previous high on pound Swissy. Then New Zealand dollar, we, is this a sell? Yeah. Wait, hold up. Oh, this trade we did not put take profit, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter. We just put like a small one there. Take profit did get hit apparently yesterday. Yeah, take profit got hit, but this was the third position that take profit did not get hit on. I forgot to close this position. Yeah, but it did come to our low, took us out in profit. Yeah, so we just put a slight profit here of $1 to take us out. And then USD CAD, we have not had any reason to buy here. We're just waiting for it to probably make some lows. Then after that, a break to the upside. Then we'll be looking to buy again on USD CAD. Then dollar Swissy, same scenario. We're looking for a pullback. Then we're going to the upside. Then Euro NZD, Euro New Zealand. We were doing quite well, but we seem to be pulling back. Our target's all the way up there. So we're yet to see how that goes. Then Euro Aussie, we're currently looking for buys, but it's still dropping real strongly. It's still dropping. So wait for the buys to actually kick in. Yeah, but right now we're just watching the market. Then we also have Bitcoin. We're currently in a loss. Yeah, we're currently in a loss. It seems to be coming up slightly, but it hasn't reached our stop loss area. So it dips down slightly. Then today we are kind of green on the candles. But we'll see with initial jobless claims how this goes. Because initial jobless claims actually does move also to the crypto market. So we need to keep that in mind. Then let's look at US 30. US 30, yeah, this resistance level seems to be holding. So we might actually be pulling back to the downside here to 52,775. So that's what I'm anticipating, because this level is actually becoming weak. Because the first touch, second touch, This seems to be the third touch, though it was a higher candle. It did not actually have that strong move that I was talking about. But then there also seems to be weakness for the sellers as well. So right now we're just in consolidation, but most likely it's looking like we'll reach to the downside on US 30. So don't forget, guys, I already know I'm supposed to end the poll. Yeah. Have you ever analyzed US 10-year? Seems it's in combination with the dollar index, correlates very well with gold. The US 10-year is literally almost like the dollar index. It's just the yields, like the interest rates on the 10-year bonds. So if you're a bond trader, of course you'd have to trade those. But no, I do not look at the US 10-year. We can't just be trading everything. We need to have a niche that we actually get into. So NAS 100 seems to be healthy here. We seem to be aiming for 30,300, so that looks good. Then pound dollar. Pound dollar is coming down nicely. So it seems we are literally now almost touching this resistance level right here around. Oh, actually, we did touch it. We did touch it, and we seem to be bouncing off that level. We might probably even just be moving up from here on pound dollar. Then euro dollar, but with the news, I think this will actually drop even further, probably to 35200. So then euro dollar, finally euro dollar. Euro dollar, we are also having that downward consolidation or a downward move, just dripping all the way down. So 1.16130 seems to be a level where you could be targeting, and then finally 130 with the initial jobless claims. So I will be ending the poll now. So just getting into Discord right now. So if you have cast your vote, congratulations. You just need to wait for the results. Yeah. So here the poll says better than expected, but you need to be aware that the news result is what determines everything else. Then gold. Let's look at gold. So gold dipped all the way to 45, almost 4560. It touched 4567. But I do think there's still room for this to even drop further. I think we could even be touching 4455. So let's drop this down to the 1 minute and see how this goes. We started the live off at 60. We're now down 59. So let's see how this goes right now, how things will be. Yeah, so this was Gaston's comments. Yeah, of course, the dollar index does correlate with US 10-year, but we'll see. We can't really be trading in US bonds. I don't trade the bond market, I trade the FX and commodity markets. I also trade futures, by the way, but that's just a different story. So 1 minute remaining till the news release here on the US jobless claims. And we're left with about 10 seconds. Gold is shooting a big candle right there. And I think this will drop. Initial move to the upside, but then probably we might have a drop. Let's see what the news actually is saying here on. Yeah, so it's better than expected. So apparently the better than expected people voted better expected in the Discord actually won this. So congratulations to those. So I don't know if you guys actually see when I say results for so and so came out better than expected, or you just focus on the winning answer. The winning answer is not the correct prediction. The correct prediction is when I say that the result for so and so came in better than expected. So, yeah. Better than expected. Yeah, so I'm posting this for you guys. So the ones who voted correctly for better than expected are Danushik, Ibrahim, Darius, Rafael, Sami, Oren, Indica, and Flamey D. And unfortunately, Gaston, you chose as expected, so that doesn't win. Yeah, so these are the one, six, seven, eight people who voted correctly. I'll be adding their 1 point to the leaderboard. So wait on that. So overall, the red candle obviously shows that there is some strength from the US dollar. So we might actually be having some US dollar strength later in the day. So right now, it's more like this move did not have a huge impact, but it does add to the numbers to strengthen the US dollar. Yeah, so let's keep that in mind. Any other pairs that you like us to look at? Any other pairs? Any other pairs before I conclude? Once more, guys, don't forget we do have the 40% off discount with the promo code first OFP if you're a first time user. And then if you've been a regular user with us, um, yes, you can get 30% off using the promo code OFP30. Promo ends on the 30th of August on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. CET. So make sure you grab yourself an account before then. Thank you, guys. So if there's no other pairs that you guys would like us to look at, we're gonna call it a wrap right here. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day and happy trading.